Hello everyone, this is Shivani Garg, Assistant Professor from Government Engineering College, Bikaner. In previous lecture, we have studied the basics of frequency response and then the graphical representation of frequency response using body plot and polar plot. In this lecture, we will be studying the graphical representation of frequency response using Nyquist plot. So, Nyquist plot is used to determine the stability of a closed loop system from its open loop frequency response. Open loop frequency response. So this relates the open loop frequency response to the number of poles and zeros of characteristic equation of closed loop transfer function, that is 1 plus GSHS, that lies in right half of S plane. So as we know, the closed loop transfer function is given by 1 plus GS upon 1 plus GSHS, where this denominator of this closed loop system is called as the characteristic equation. And if you remember the Rath-Hurwitz criteria, in that also we will be considering the characteristic equation only, and we check how many roots of this characteristic equation lies in the right half of S plane, so that we can determine if the system is stable or not. However, the difference between the Rath-Hurwitz criteria and Nyquist plot is that in Nyquist plot we are considering the graphical representation. So this will give more information as compared to the simple Rath-Hurwitz criteria that gives only the information about yes or no, our system is stable or not. But using Nyquist graph or Nyquist plot, we will get some more information. So let us consider a characteristic equation, that is QS. This is a characteristic equation of closed loop system, that is 1 plus GSHS. It is expressed in the form of S minus A1 into S minus A2 up to S minus AM divided by S minus Q1 into S minus Q2 up to S minus Qn. So as we know, our S is the complex number, that is sigma plus j omega. So for each value of S, we get a QS which is also a complex number. Let's say this is a U plus JV. So this means that for every value of S, there exists a value of QS. So if we draw this on some plane, let's say this is the S plane and this is the real axis, that is sigma, and this is the imaginary axis, that is omega. And there exists a corresponding Q plane. There, this is its real axis and this is its imaginary axis. So this is the Q plane and this is S plane. So if we consider any point in this S plane, there exists a corresponding point in this Q plane. Similarly, we can draw a different number of values of S, so we will get the corresponding values of Q in Q plane. But with the condition, this S should not contain any singular point of QS. Singular point means these poles Q1 up to Qn. Otherwise, this will become infinity. So these points, we have different number of points, but without these do not pass through the singular points of Q. Okay, so there would be a contour A in S plane and there will be a contour B in Q plane that corresponds to the S plane for each value of S. So this is called the mapping from S plane to QS plane. Okay, so although the shape of this curve does not matter, we are only interested in the stability. So if we how do we check the Nyquist criteria? We check the total number of encirclement. So what is encirclement? So if you draw a straight line from this origin, and if you count how many times this contour is encircling this line. So anti-clockwise encircles are considered as positive encirclements and clockwise encirclements are considered as negative encirclement. So if you see that, if we want to know this contour is encircling origin or not, then yes, this is the direction of this curve. So yes, this So this is the origin point. We draw a straight line from this origin, passing through this contour, and then we check the number of encirclements it is having. So in anti-clockwise it has one encirclement, and it does not have any encirclement in clockwise direction. So total number of encirclements of this q plane to origin is +1. So this is how we calculate encirclements of any point. Okay, so this will be helpful in Nyquist criteria. So next, see what is Nyquist criteria. So first step is to we have open loop transfer function, that is GSHS. So first we convert this S by j omega. We replace this S by j omega, and then we draw the polar plots as we have studied in previous lecture. Once we have this open loop transfer function, and then we draw the polar plot. Till this point the procedure is same which we were using for drawing polar plot. Now the Nyquist stability criteria states that if the characteristic equation 1 plus GS has a positive real part, then the system is unstable if the plot encircles the stability point -1 plus J0. So in this graph, this is your stability point, that is -1 plus J0. We have drawn a unit circle. Okay, so this is your stability point, that is -1 plus J0. The system becomes marginally stable if the stability point is not encircled but does encircle the gain point, that is 0.5 plus J0, or the phase point, that is 0.7660 minus J0.6228, or both of these points. So this is the gain margin point where the gain is unity, and this is the phase margin point where the angle is this is the gain margin point where the phase crossover frequency, that is angle, is -180 degree, and this is the phase margin point where the frequency where the magnitude is 1 unit. So if this curve is encircling this point, these 2 points, then we say the system is marginally stable. So if we see in this curve, this is the direction of the curve. So increasing omega from here to this point, this is the this arrow shows the direction of increasing omega. So if we calculate the total encirclements, this is again in positive and negative side direction, the both. So there is no encirclements. If we see, we draw this point here, so there is no closed encirclement of this particular point. Okay, so third point, the system is stable if the plot does not encircle stability point, gain margin point, and the phase margin point. So this system is stable as this is not encircling any of the point. This is stability point and gain margin point, and this is the phase margin point. So this curve is not encircling any of the points, so this curve is stable. So let's understand the Nyquist criteria in more easy way. So a Nyquist criteria states that the system is stable if n is equal to p minus z, where n is the total number of net encirclements of the point -1 plus j0 by open loop transfer function GSHS, and p is the number of poles of GSHS with positive real parts, and z is the number of zeros, that means the roots of the characteristic equation 1 plus GSHS with positive real parts. Okay, so if we have n is equal to p minus z, then the system will be stable. The net circumference is equal to the difference between the poles and zeros, poles of the open loop transfer function and zeros of the characteristic equation. Okay, so let us consider the open loop transfer function, standard form of open loop transfer function, that is GSHS is equal to k into s plus z1 into s plus z2 up to z plus s plus zm divided by s plus p1 into s plus p2 up to s plus pn. Then the characteristic equation of the closed loop transfer function would be qs is equal to 1 plus GSHS plus z1 s plus z2 s up to s plus zm divided by s plus p1 into s plus p2 up to s plus pn. So the zeros of this characteristic equation are the roots of the characteristic equation. Zeros of qs are the roots of the characteristic equation, and poles are the same as the open loop poles. So poles of this characteristic equation would be same as the open loop poles, and zeros would be zeros of qs would be the roots of this characteristic equation. So for a stable system, as we see in Rutherford's criteria, the roots of the characteristic equation, that is zeros of qs, must lie in the left half of S plane. So our z should be 0. Because what is z? Z is the number of zeros 1 plus GSHs with positive real parts. That means there exist some zeros that are in the right half of S plane. However, for system to be stable, the root of the characteristic equation, that means the zeros of qs, must lie in the left half of S plane. So for system to be stable, z should be equal to 0, and that means n should be equal to p, that is to the number of encirclements of the point -1 plus d0 must be equal to the number of poles of open loop transfer function with positive real parts, or that lie in the right half of the S plane. So this is the main statement of stability criteria. So how we can use the stability criteria using Nyquist contour or Nyquist plot. So let's see. So there is a question: what will happen if the open loop system has a pole in right half of S plane? That means P is greater than 0. Okay, so it may have any, if the open loop system has a pole in right half of S plane. Okay, so this means the open loop system is unstable. However, if this will not be the condition that closed loop system will be unstable only. If an open loop system is unstable, closed loop system may or may not be stable. So we need to check if the closed loop system is still stable or not. So for what is the condition for system to be stable? If p is greater than 0, then n should be equal to p. That means the encirclement of Nyquist plot must be to net encirclements of a Nyquist plot of point -1 plus j0 must be equal to the number of poles of open loop transfer function that are lying in right half of S plane. Okay, so even if the open loop system is unstable, there may be the case that your closed loop system is stable. So we need to check it. We can check it by using Nyquist stability criteria. Okay, so we need to investigate if there are any roots of QS in the right half of S plane. This leads to the Nyquist stability criteria. So to investigate the presence of any right half zero of characteristic equation, we choose a contour that completely encloses the right half of S plane. Okay, and this is called the Nyquist contour. So here we have shown one contour which has the entire imaginary axis from omega is equal to -infinity to omega is equal to infinity. So we have the entire imaginary axis and entire right half of S plane, because we are not interested in left half, we are only interested in right half of S plane. So we have this Nyquist contour only consists of the entire right half of S plane. So this is the semicircle of radius r e to the power j infinity, where limit r tends to infinity with e to the power j theta. This is j theta with r tends to infinity, and where theta varies from pi by 2 to minus pi by 2. So this angle is plus pi by 2 and this angle is minus pi by 2. Okay, so this is the equation for the semicircle r e to the power j theta, where r tends to infinity. That means we are considering the whole right half of S plane of infinite radius, and the theta angle theta varies between plus pi by 2 to minus pi by 2. So let's see. So now we know what is the Nyquist contour. So now the question is, why do we need to define such a contour? As we have seen, our Nyquist contour encloses the complete right half of S plane. As we have seen in the previous slide, our Nyquist contour encloses complete right half of this S plane, that is a radius with r tends to infinity. So it encloses all the right half of S plane poles or zeros of characteristic equation, that is Qs is equal to 1 plus Gs Hs. Okay, and we are not interested in left half of S plane, because if a pole or zero is lying in left half of S plane, that means the system is unstable. So we need not to worry about this. We are worrying about even if a single pole is lying at the right half of S plane, the system becomes unstable. So we are interested in right half only. So let's see. Suppose if there are Z zeros and P poles of QS in the right half of S plane. So as we move along Nyquist contour and S plane, a closed contour is can be mapped in QS plane. Okay, so we will get, as we have seen in first slide, this is the S plane. So if we consider all these points, this is the plus j infinity, this is minus j infinity, this is origin 0. So if we take some points and we draw a QS plot, we map this S plane to QS plane, we get some Nyquist plot. This is called the Nyquist plot, which we will be getting in the QS plane, and this is called the Nyquist contour, which we are considering in S plane. Okay, so this will enclose the origin by n is equal to encirclement. Number of encirclement would be n is equal to p minus z. So if this plot is like this, okay, so the encirclement of n is the encirclement must be n is equal to p minus z times in counterclockwise direction. So now how do we test the stability with these encirclements of the origin? So for the system to be stable, the roots of the QS, that is characteristic equation, must be 0, must not lie in the right half of S plane. That means that means the zeros of this QS must be 0 in number of zeros that are lying in right half of S plane must be 0, that is z is equal to 0. So this can be done only if n is equal to p. That means if the number of poles of open loop transfer function that lies in the right half of S plane is equal to the total number of encirclements of the Nyquist plot of point minus 1 plus j0. So this means a closed loop system is to be stable. The number of counterclockwise encirclements of the origin of the QS plane should equal the number of right half S plane poles of QS. So even if the open loop system is unstable, the closed loop system may be stable if n is equal to p. However, if the this open loop system is stable, that means p is equal to 0, then n must also be equal to 0 for a system to be for a closed loop system to be stable. So the contour GS on HS corresponds to Nyquist contour on S plane is the same as the contour 1 plus GS HS drawn from the point minus 1 plus J0. So as we know, the characteristic equation is 1 plus GS HS is equal to 0, or you can write it as GS HS is equal to minus 1. And since this term is complex number, as S is complex number, so we can write this in terms 1 plus G 0j, okay, minus 1 plus 0j omega at j omega is equal to minus 1 plus j 0. So that's why we are considering open loop transfer function and circling this point minus 1 plus j 0. So let us consider one example. Let's consider this example to draw the Nyquist plot using Nyquist contour. So we have a open loop transfer function GSHS is equal to K upon S into ST plus 1. Here we have a pole at origin, that is S is equal to J omega. So our Nyquist contour would be in S plane, our Nyquist contour would be say this is our pole at origin, that is S is equal to omega is equal to 0. So now we will omit this point, or we will leave this point, as this will become the singular point for this open loop transfer function. So this would be, so our new Nyquist contour would be this one, where this is r e to the power j theta, where r tends to 0. That means this is a semicircle of very small radius. So if this point is plus j0 and this point is minus j0, this point is minus j infinity, and this point is plus j infinity, and this point is r tends to infinity, this entire curve. So this is our Nyquist contour in S plane, which we will be considering for drawing the Nyquist plot in Q plane, where Q is equal to TSHS is equal to, so first step is to draw the polar plot. So our GJ omega at j omega is equal to K upon j omega T1 S plus 1. So its magnitude is K upon omega under root, sorry, so this is T1 j omega T1 square omega square plus 1. This is its magnitude, and phi is equal to minus 90 minus tan inverse T1 omega. Okay, and in rationalization form or in rectangular form, we can write in complex form, we can write this in terms of real and imaginary part, and this would be equal to kt upon omega square t square plus 1 minus jk upon omega into omega square t square plus 1. Okay, so from these equations, if for omega is equal to 0 plus 0, we will take these points, this point, this point, this point, and this point. Okay, so for omega plus 0, phi is equal to minus 90 degree. Okay, this term would be very small, that means this angle is almost equal to 0. Okay, it is not exactly equal to, but almost equal to 0, because this is just above the 0. R tends to 0, so this is very less value. Okay, so our phi would be minus 90 degree. Similarly, our m would be infinity. Okay, same for omega is equal to plus infinity. What we will have phi is equal to minus 180 degrees, because this is constant minus 90 degree, and this will also be equal to minus 90 degree. So our angle would be minus 180 degree, and the magnitude is 0. Okay, so this omega is infinity, so our magnitude becomes 0. So we draw the Nyquist plot of so for j is equal to 0 to infinity, what we have for j0, we have angle minus 90, that means somewhere here, and m is infinity. Okay, so somewhere here is the point, and say when omega is infinity plus infinity, our phi is 180 degree, that means somewhere here would be the angle. Okay, and our m is 0. Okay, so we may have the curve of shape this. Similarly for this part, right now we have drawn the plot for this part, and now if we draw for this part, this would be the imaginary, this would be the mirror image of this plot. So we will get this curve, and for this r tends to infinity, we will get this directions, and the direction of the curve would be like this. So this is our Nyquist curve for this particular transfer function, where this is omega is equal to plus infinity, and this point is omega is equal to minus infinity. This point is omega is equal to plus 0, and this point is omega is equal to minus 0, and this is tends to infinity. Okay, so this is a type 1 system for open loop transfer function. That's why we have removed this particular point, that is origin point, we have removed to draw this Nyquist plot. Now we can see if this curve is, here must be the point minus 1 plus j0. It does not have any pole in right half of S-plane, so p is equal to 0. Okay, and z must be equal to 0. Z must be equal to 0. For a stable system, z must be equal to 0, and it does not have any pole in the right half of S-plane, so p is equal to 0. So there must be n is equal to p minus z, that means this should be 0. So there must not be any encirclement of the point minus 1 plus j0. So if we draw the line from the center at any point crossing this curve, so from center we draw any line crossing this curve, we see that this is without drawing this line, we can see this curve is outside of this point, is outside of this curve, so the system is stable. Or else you can simply draw a line from origin and see how much encirclements are there within this point. Then your system, if there exists any encirclement and your n is 0, then the system is unstable. But here n is 0 and there is no encirclements around the point -1 plus j0, so this system, that is GSHS, is equal to k upon s into t1s plus 1 is stable. Okay, this is stable for any value of t. Okay, so this is it for today's lecture. In next lecture we will be practicing some GATE previous year questions on frequency response analysis. Thank you.